Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm an illustrator, and in this video I will be flipping through my most recently finished sketchbook. This is actually my second sketchbook tour, so if you would like to see some more sketches from me, I actually have another sketchbook flip through on my YouTube channel, so I'll link that below. This sketchbook is an art alternative sketchbook. I actually got it at my college, so every single semester this art supply store comes to our college to sell different materials for drawing classes, painting classes, and etc. And they had this sketchbook and I was buying stuff. I saw it and I thought it was cool that it wasn't like spiral bound and it had like a fully black cover, which I really like because it's easier to put like stickers on the front. And I thought the paper quality was like pretty okay. So I got it. I ended up not really liking this sketchbook because the paper didn't really handle water-based materials super well. So for example, gouache paintings or watercolor paintings didn't really work super well in this sketchbook. So I would say if you're going to get this, try to use only like drier materials such as like pencils, inks, or markers. But overall, I am pretty happy with the artworks that I did in here, but I would not purchase this sketchbook again. I will link it below if I can find it. I'm actually not sure if they sell this anywhere else or if this is like specific to this art supply store. I will link it below if you do want to get it, if you just want to have like a cheap and kind of like a small sketchbook. I think it only has like around 30 spreads. Don't quote me on that. I am not exactly sure how many spreads are in here. So it's a pretty small sketchbook. This is actually one of the smallest sketchbooks that I have ever done before. The previous sketchbook that I've had was like over 80 spreads long. It was a pretty thick sketchbook. So this one is not as long. So I actually started this sketchbook in June of 2022. And if I remember correctly, I finished it in August of 2023. For the last 10 pages, I actually filmed the whole process of me working on them. So if you would like to see that as well, I have a video on that on my channel. So I'll link that below too. If you would like to see some in-depth process of how I sketch, what is my thinking process behind each spread and what I use to create all of these artworks. And the sticker that I have on my sketchbook is from Hellcats USA, and the sticker in the back is actually my own possum sticker that I have done a couple of years ago. I think I was just testing it out of how it would look like on like a black paper, and I just tossed it on my sketchbook. So not a lot of stickers on this one, which is like weird because I usually like fill up my sketchbooks with a lot of stickers, but with this one I only decided to do this one sticker, which I actually kind of like how clean it is. Definitely not doing this for the next one because the next sketchbook is gonna be a lot bigger, so I definitely want to fill that one with stickers. But yeah, if you do want to get the sticker, it's Hellcats USA. They're super cool. They actually just opened their own store here in Orlando, so if you want to visit them, you can find the sticker there. So now that all of the nitty-gritties out of the way, time to get into the sketchbook. So for the first page, I just kind of was doodling around, kind of trying to get the feel of like the materials that the paper can handle, and also just kind of not taking it super seriously. I have this caterpillar over here, a little clown guy. I really like these plants down here. I just really like the contrast that I was able to create with the black ink. I also have some sketchbook ideas, so whenever I don't know what I want to draw, I can just like look at this and kind of like see like, okay, maybe I can do like faces and portraits for one spread or like flowers for another one. Also, this is a sticker that I made for my parents. They went to a strawberry farm and they created gems out of the strawberries. So I made like a little sticker for them to put on the jam jars. It's in Hungarian, so this says strawberry jam. I wanted to practice some portraits here, and specifically with pen. I actually sketched out before I started using the pen, so this is not done like just with the pen. So there's like a sketch underneath it to help guide me. I'm really happy with these three, or more like these two. This one is okay. I really don't like this one. I think this is where I was like giving up, or somehow like it just didn't look right. Like I think these reference images, I think all of these are from Pinterest, by the way. I think for these three there were like a little bit bigger contrast in the lighting, while with this one there wasn't a lot, so I think I was just having like a harder time figuring it out. And just simple little doodles here. I really like this like fairy girl. I'm actually working on some fairy OCs, and kind of looks like one of them, which is like really cool because I feel like I started developing her like right here. I also like this little guy. I don't know, the face is really cute. I think it's supposed to be like a blueberry creature. I don't know, really cute. So I think I was trying to cover up the previous page because I was using markers here. I usually try to cover up the bleed through with the marker, so I used a gouache for this spread. I think I used Himi gouache over here. And it's just these glowing mushrooms that I found a reference picture on Pinterest that I really liked. I am super happy with how it turned out. I think I have like a hard time painting stuff that is like super dark, but I think it was like pretty successful here, and I really like how the colors turned out. And for this mushroom guy, I actually did this I received these pencils holder as a gift, and I had to do like a little drawing for it, and this is what I did for it. Originally it was a pencil drawing, and then I put it into Procreate and colored it in there, but I liked the sketch so much that I ended up finishing it, and this is where I started kind of experimenting with markers, like not outlining all of it and kind of adding more shadows and depth with the marker instead of using pencils. And I think it became really successful, so I really love this guy. I actually turned him into a print, so I'll put that on the screen too. I don't know if I'm still gonna be selling those prints. This is kind of like an old drawing. Again, this is like 2022 and now we are in 2024, so I kind of need to make like new art, but yeah. And then some little doodles at the bottom. So again, here's the bleed through I was talking about that I usually try to cover, but sometimes it does some cool stuff, and I try to not do anything super crazy, so I try to use like kind of black ink or black pens on these bleed through places. But yeah, so I have both of these are from Pinterest again, using some reference photos. I really like how this face turned out. And for this page, I wanted to use some limited color palette. I really like the color palette that Knives Me Out, aka Radia, uses in her work. So I was trying to emulate that. Like, it's very like pink and blue, and I wanted to see how it would look like with my art. And honestly, it turned out really cute. I'm not super satisfied with Emma's face. This is actually Anya Taylor-Joy's version of Emma, which I love that movie so much. The costuming is beautiful in it, and it's just like such a fun movie. And I was very excited to watch it because I actually read the book not like long before it came out, so that was really cool. I definitely want to do more spreads like this that is just like 2 colors, maybe experiment with a little bit of crazier colors, maybe do like brown and green or something like that. But yeah, I'm overall really happy with this. So this is like a very easy doodle spread. I kind of just grabbed a brown Prismacolor and just doodled whatever came to mind. And then I pasted this in here. I think there was something underneath here that I didn't like, so I just put this colored paper on top that I just cut up and just like did this like landscape on there. And I think this is like a Kewpie baby. I don't know. I know a lot of people draw this little baby, and I wanted to like see how he would look like in my style, and I actually really like it, so maybe eventually I'll jump on the bandwagon and draw this little baby. But yeah, that's how he looks like in my style. And then I really like this lady. I like how the profile turned out. Another very doodly page. I was kind of just jotting down ideas, trying to come up with like sticker ideas. Also, these 2 were plans for a lino cut for pencil pouches. I ended up doing both of these. I think this was a plan too, but I scratched that one. I didn't like it that much. I really like how this one turned out on the pouch. This one was not as successful. I think my line work wasn't super clean, but this one turned out really cute. I put it on like a pink pencil pouch. And I did end up turning this this little guy into a sticker as well, a glitter sticker, and I still sell this one. I'm just obsessed with how he turned out. Super cute. And I also want to maybe make this like orange guy into an enamel pin eventually, but for now it's just a little doodle. Some more gouache painting. I think I was trying to paint a hydrangea here because when I painted this, my family and I were actually at a cabin and there were like a bunch of hydrangea around the cabin, and I thought that was really cool and I wanted to kind of paint it. Not super successful. I think the colors just don't look right. Like, I also like these leaves are kind of super random, so I don't know what happened there, but you know, it's there. Also, I might have been covering something up here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This page is just a little bit messy because I was like, I think I had art block here and I was having a really hard time drawing and coming up with stuff, but we were at this cabin and I was like, I need to draw because that's why we are here. Like, it's vacation and I want to draw and I want to create. So I was having like a really hard time with this spread, as you can see over here. Like I really didn't like the face that I drew and I just covered it up because it was so hard. It was like gouache paint and the paper was not really taking like the paint super well. So I didn't know how to like fix it. So I kind of just covered it up with like this star blob. I don't even know what that is, but yeah, so I really like these though. I think I was experimenting with different colors from my watercolor palette, and I really like how like muted these colors are. Like, I would love to create something with this type of palette. For this spread, I actually asked my followers on Instagram to give me some suggestions. And this is all the drawings that I did for that like little question box. So I think there was like angel, snail, a cyclops girl, mushroom, umbrella frog, harlequin, this clover fairy, which I'm obsessed with this one. I think my favorites on these pages, the cyclops girl and this fairy. I think they just turn out so cute, and the colors look really good. This side is actually done with marker and pencil, and this one is with watercolor because I was trying not to like ruin this spread. So yeah, the colors look a little bit wonky over here while this one was a lot more cleaner, and I think this is why I like this page a lot more. And then I shifted over to a pen to finish the rest of the requests. So this is still like a continuation for the request, and I think half of these I actually did in the car while we were driving. So I have a manatee, and I love this little possum guy in the corner. He's so cute. And I have this ghost that I actually turned it into both a sticker and a print. I did a painting, like a digital painting that was inspired by this, like flowers showing through the ghost. And yeah, I am just so happy with how this sketch was able to turn into this like really nice painting that I'm super proud of. So this was a cavern that we visited. I don't remember the name of the cavern, but there was this one area that had like a beautiful teal colored water. And honestly, the whole place was absolutely gorgeous, and I really enjoyed walking through it. And I definitely wanted to commemorate that with this piece because I was just like obsessed with the place, and it was so cool like seeing all of these rock formations and just walking like below the earth. Like, such a cool like thing to do. Like, if you ever get the chance to like visit a cavern, please do, because it's so cool. And then I have a mushroom pen sketch over here, and then I bought this mushroom tea towel, and there was like this tag on it that I really like, so I pasted it in here. And these are 2 washi tapes that I have made. This page I created while we had a hurricane going on here in Florida. So we had no electricity, and I think my family was just like hanging out and they were reading, and I really wanted to draw, so I just sat down and created this whole like watercolor page. I actually really like how this watercolor looks on this paper. Like, I think watercolor is fine with this sketchbook. It's like I was having issues with like gouache, and like laying down gouache. Like I think that was not easy because it was just like soaking up everything too bad. But yeah, I really like how this house turned out. Like the textures in the sky turned out so nice. Like I didn't even do anything, and like this is like the simplest thing that I could do, and just the way the paint spread and the way the paint is like sitting is like turned out so cool. Same with over here, like the way that it just spread, it turned out like amazing. I don't know why. I love to do like sky paintings in my sketchbooks, and I always try to work with these harder sky images that have like all of these super bright colors, because I have such a hard time like mimicking those colors, and these are like really great practice to, you know, try to like look at an image and try to replicate it. So I think this is like the most successful I've ever gotten to replicating like a sky image like this, where the colors are just so, this is like such like a bright salmon and just like orangey colors that it's really hard to replicate. And I think I was pretty successful here, which I am super happy with, because in the previous sketchbook I think I was trying to do the same thing and it just became like super muddy and it didn't look right. I'm glad I was able to do that here. And here I have a marker portrait that I found on Pinterest, and I was using the marker here again. I was trying to experiment with the markers a lot in this sketchbook, because previously I kind of was just using markers as like the color, and then I use pencil to like shade it, which I have used here as well, but most of this like color in the face is done with the marker, which I am so excited about and very satisfied with. I think the proportions are a little wonky and this neck is like way too long in my opinion, but overall the colors turned out exactly how I wanted them to. And then this is a sticker from this company that sold these Victorian furniture and decorations, and I really liked how they had this like fragile thing on the box. And the funny thing is, it actually went out of business. Like, I'm so upset over this because they had such cool stuff that would have like really worked in our apartment, and now we cannot buy anything from it. So RIP Victorian Trading Co. I think this is actually my favorite spread in this entire sketchbook. I'm obsessed with plants. I'm obsessed with the color green, and I'm obsessed with mushrooms. So I have a little My Neighbor Totoro study over here done with gouache, some flowers and plants with pen up here, and then I drew some like nuts, like chestnut and acorns and stuff like that. I really love this chestnut. It's such like a small thing, but I just really like how it turned out. Around winter time, I was getting very inspired to do a lot of Christmas stuff, and this spread is a perfect example of that. I love watching certain Christmas movies every single year, and one of them is The Grinch, and then the other one is the Rudolph movie, the stop motion animated one. So I wanted to kind of like commemorate that in this spread. And also I try to work in my sketchbook pretty often and keep it as like a diary as well, which I am not super successful with. Like, I literally like abandoned this sketchbook in December, and then I picked it up again in like July, so not super great about that. But yeah, I would love to keep doing stuff like this, where I kind of just like sit down and at a certain time of my life and I just like doodle stuff that like is specifically for that time. Also, I think I need to date my spreads just so I can be like, oh, this was like 2022 December, you know, and then like I can look back on it and like even say like maybe the date, or like start writing stuff that like, oh, this is what I did that day, because I think I was hanging out with my family around this time, and I feel like I could like leave notes like that. So I want to be a little bit more not diary or journal heavy in my sketchbook, but more of just like putting a little bit more into like these moments that I'm trying to show in my sketchbook. For these drawings, I used a purple Prismacolor, and then underneath it, I colored with this multicolor pencil. So the lead has like multiple like colors in it, and so it creates this like super cute like rainbowy color as you like color with it. I am obsessed with that pencil. I think I was using that in my previous sketchbook too, and I love it so much. It creates such like a fun little piece for you. And even if you don't really use anything else for it, like if you just do like a whole spread with that pencil, like it looks so cool because you have so many different colors. So I highly recommend getting this pencil because it's just so awesome and so fun to like sketch with. And then here is a gouache painting of a winter scene, just trying to kind of tie in this like winter-y feel that was kind of aroundish this time. This is where actually my 1 week of finishing the sketchbook starts. So this is where the video comes in where I finish my sketchbook in a week. So from here on out, all of these pieces were done like pretty close to each other and they were very deliberate. So this was the first piece that I've done for that challenge. And over here I have some animals. On this page I wanted to do some animal studies with just like a blue Prismacolor. I did end up sketching some of this out before I went over it with the blue, so there's some of the like red popping out, which is from the pencil. And then on this side I wanted to do some character designs or doing stuff more in my style. So I have this like goat that is very inspired by the goat in The Witch. And this is my dog Ruby as a little character. I would love to draw her more often. She actually looks a little different now because she's a toy poodle, and we like to like get her a haircut that like shows her snout more. This is more of just her like toy poodle, like very fluffy like haircut. I would love to draw her more and like create like a little story around her. I think that would be very cute. And then this is like a wizard raccoon, which I want to practice drawing raccoons because I want to draw them more often. I wanted to create kind of like a medieval princess knight kind of vibe for this spread. So I was using some pens to doodle these two ladies. I really like how this knight turned out. And then on this side, I have this study from Mirror Mirror. This is the scene where Lily Collins is in the forest in her iconic yellow hood. And I absolutely love this movie. Please, if you have never seen this movie, please give it a chance because it's so inspiring. It has such cool costuming, very similar vibe to the new Emma movie, like very similar colors, so fun. Over here I have this kind of like commemoration of this cabin trip my parents and I went on, which was to LAJ in Georgia, and I had such a good time there. The cabin that we stayed at had like a bunch of deer around it, so every single time we were driving through like I don't know what to call it because it's like not a neighborhood, but it's like, you know, like you go in through a gate and then there's all of these like cabins that are probably like, most of them are Airbnb or like people own them or something like that. So when we were driving through that area, it was like very mountainy and very foresty, and there were just like these deers everywhere, which was so cool. Actually, the first day that we were there, one of them came up super close to the cabin, and I think like everybody there is like feeding these deers, so I think that's why they're sticking around. Like people have like little like packets of like, I don't know, like I think they eat corn or like seeds or something like that, so they like toss them out for them and they just like go to each cabin and just have like a dinner. So it was super cool. This was a waterfall that we visited, and we kind of like, I wouldn't call it a hike. I mean, it was kind of a hike. We were kind of just climbing stairs up, so I don't know if I would call that a hike, but yeah, it was gorgeous. This was actually from the top, so like this is like looking down to the waterfall, and it was beautiful, and I definitely wanted to kind of do like a painting for this. I was struggling with this painting because I was trying to cover up this super detailed mirror piece that was like bleeding through really bad. So this is where like my issue with the gouache kind of happened. So it's not the best. I wish I could have done like a better job with this, but I did what I could, and I definitely learned my lesson that I need a little bit of a stronger papered sketchbook that can actually hold water and gouache a little better. Another fun little page for this one, it's all clowns. So I do really like drawing clowns. I think they're like really fun and so colorful. And there's just like so many good reference pictures for them on Pinterest. I wanted to kind of like draw stuff from my imagination and then draw stuff that I have found on Pinterest. This is like a calico critter clown, and then this one is, I think this is actually like a person who dresses up in the clown costume and has like a whole social media page for it. I cannot really remember the name of the account, but I will include it on the screen. So if you want to check them out, they are so cool. They make like awesome videos, all in these like gorgeous clown costumes and masks. Like even the mask is like absolutely beautiful. So I found like a picture of them on Pinterest and I drew that. And then this is like, I'm trying to develop like a little clown character. Same with this one. This is kind of like a devil clown that I think this is my favorite part of the spread. I just really love the expression that I was able to create here. This was actually a practice from Chris Hong, who does a lot of pencil drawings, and I wanted to try out that technique that she has posted on her Instagram, and I think I did pretty good. I definitely want to do this more often. So another very colorful spread. So I have a couple of fish over here, which this is actually inspired by this other sketchbook page that I have done, which was all like butterflies and moths. So it's very similar to that one. It's like the same kind of like background color. And I just wanted to do that because I thought it would be like an easy kind of spread to do and like a kind of practice gouache painting. I don't actually remember what fish these are. I feel kind of bad. I think this is a salmon, like a specific kind of salmon. I don't know. I actually don't know what fish these are. I'm going to look them up and I'm going to tell you which these are. Yeah, because I think I was searching specifically for these fish, but now I don't remember what they're called. Oh no. I am not a fish expert, obviously, but yeah, I really like how these turned out. And here are some vegetables and my little broccoli guy, which I definitely want to do more of him and his other vegetable friends and create like a whole story around them, because I think they're really cute and I feel like there could be something really cool there. So I definitely want to draw him more and put him in like different scenarios. This was more of like a practice page. I wanted to practice some hand drawings. This was all done with pen, like a ballpoint pen. And then here I have some shoes that I've done with Posca pens for the color and my Pentel brush pen for the black over it. I came back to kind of drawing with just pencil over here, which this is also a technique that I found from another artist that I saw on Pinterest. So I was kind of trying to mimic this specific image that they have created and try to do the same, very similar colors to what they were doing with their pencil landscape pieces. And I think it definitely worked. Like I can definitely see the colors looking like really good. I think I needed a little bit more specific of a reference picture because I don't even know if I was using a reference picture. Like I think I was just looking at their like drawing and then I kind of just made my own version of that, but it wasn't super successful because theirs has like a road on it that I think looks really cool, and mine is just kind of like a hill, but it has like bushes, but it's like it doesn't even look like there's like a forest at the very end. So like what is going on? So next time I'm definitely going to try to do this with an actual reference picture instead of just trying to like mimic the drawing and then just trying to do something from my imagination. Yeah, or like I feel like I should have just copied the piece for studying. I don't know what I was doing. I think I just wanted to see how it would look like, and also I think this was the very end of like my challenge and I was getting really tired. So I was just like, you know what, let's just try to do this technique. Let's see how it looks like. Don't worry about how like this looks, like this hill just doesn't look like anything. And then another watercolor piece, this I did do from a reference and I really like how soft it turned out. And then this is my star character who I need to draw more often because he's super cute. This is actually covering up another bleed through and I did not feel like painting again, so I kind of just pasted this piece in. And this is a washi tape from this amazing artist that I really like, and you should check their work out. And I am obsessed with these washi tapes. They are like stamp washi tapes of different bugs. And of course, I saw the iconic Barbie movies. I had to do a spread for it. So I have one page filled with just Barbie and then the other pages with other characters and Barbie. I have the classic Barbie with the mirror, like the fake mirror that she's just like looking through, and then Barbie in her cowboy outfit, which I think is just a very cool costume, and I really like this. I really like the scenes that she was in when she was wearing this outfit. And then we have President Barbie, Ken, and Ellen, and this Ellen is my absolute favorite thing that I have drawn on this spread. I think the face turned out really good, and just like the colors are super cute. Like it's very like pastel-y, and I love that. And then the very last page in my sketchbook is this fully painted spread. I want to start creating more finished pieces in my sketchbook and not just use it for little doodles that I don't really post online. Like, I want to create pieces that I can actually scan in or take like a really cool picture of and then post it online. Because I think sketchbooks can work both ways. Something like experimenting with your style or creating silly little doodles just to like get out of an art block. But I also think you can create fully finished illustrations in your sketchbook. So I definitely want to continue doing stuff like this in my future sketchbooks that I'm going to be starting. So this was kind of like an experiment for it of how it would work out, and I am definitely very satisfied with it. I think the concept that I was thinking about really came through. It's a fully finished piece. I could definitely like take a picture of this and post it online. Also, as someone who does their pieces mostly digitally, I think this is the perfect way for me to kind of branch back into doing traditional art, because this can create kind of like a collection of artworks in the same place, the same way as like you have an iPad and then you have Procreate and all of your works are in the same place. I highly suggest you do like all kinds of stuff in your sketchbook. So don't constrain yourself to just like studies, to doing only little silly doodles. So don't be afraid to do all kinds of crazy stuff in your sketchbook. Like me personally, all of this looks so different. Like everything that I have done in this sketchbook looks incredibly different from each other. Like I can make little doodles like this, but I can also create like studies and create like full-on illustrations like this one. And I really do think that's the way that I really enjoy doing my sketchbooks, because I have so many different art styles, and sometimes it's hard to see like what you're actually using each of those art styles for. So I think the sketchbook is like a great place to learn from yourself and from others. So you can do like studies on other people's artworks, and you can also do studies of your own work. So if you want to like redraw something, that is also a great way to use your sketchbook to kind of like reimagine something or go back to where you were. Like maybe you drew something that you really liked like a couple of years ago and you kind of want to find out like what you did there. I think the sketchbook is a great place for that. Also, when I say that this is actually a sketchbook that I try to keep more pretty, because I like to have two sketchbooks where one is more organized, that is kind of like a sketchbook that I am happy to show to people, and then I have another sketchbook that is for very messy doodles, very experimental, very just all over the place. So what you're seeing right now is like a very pretty, very organized sketchbook where I am very intentional with every spread that I do. While in that sketchbook, I am not intentional at all. Like I just sit down and doodle whatever comes to mind. And I kind of use that place to just kind of get like ideas out, or if I'm in an art block, that's the sketchbook that I use. While with this one, I try to be intentional. I try to create pieces that I know I'm gonna be semi-happy with and that I'm like okay showing people. It's not just like all of these like scribbles and like writing. Like I do a lot of writing in my other sketchbook as well. So I don't really show that sketchbook. I highly recommend of just like experimenting with your sketchbook and trying to find out what works best for you. Like if you want to keep two sketchbooks and make one of them super pretty that you can like show online and like show your friends and family, that you're not really like embarrassed to like show those pieces, I think this is a very great way of doing it. And then also having another sketchbook just for yourself, like just for these silly doodles, notes, studies that you're not incredibly happy with, I think that's a really great way of running a sketchbook. Or you can have one sketchbook where you do everything. Like you do your beautiful paintings, but you also have your silly little doodles and notes and all of that stuff. I think both of those ways are great, and just do whatever makes you happy, do whatever helps your art journey, and whatever makes you create more often. I think that's the whole point of the sketchbook is so you can create even in moments where you don't have a lot of time or you don't really feel like drawing. I think that's what sketchbooks are for. Keep on creating in your sketchbooks and keep on experimenting with your art styles, with different materials. I think it's kind of fun to experiment with materials that you're not super familiar with, which I definitely did in this sketchbook. So overall, I am very excited about how this sketchbook turned out, and I hope some of these little thoughts can help you with your sketchbooks. So this is actually the end of the sketchbook. And thank you so much for watching this sketchbook tour and listening to me ramble about all the random stuff that I like to draw in my sketchbook. And I'm very excited to start a new sketchbook and kind of like be done with this that I currently have, because the paper was not really great and I do want something a little bit better quality. Also, I kind of want something a little bigger. Like I think this sketchbook is a little too small for me. So I'm very excited for my next sketchbook and to start that one. And if you have any questions about this specific sketchbook or just like how I run my sketchbook, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day and keep on making art.